845 social media and events.
Hey everybody, it's Mr. 845 here. We're hanging out with another small business. Check this out. We're talking to James. James, tell us who you are and what do you do?
Hey man, how are you? Hope all is well. My name is James Trapani. I'm a photographer based out of here in the Hudson Valley at Mayapack. Yeah, I'm a photographer.
All right. So the biggest thing that I always like to do is just basically get the real quick stuff in, which is how do people get in contact with you in case they wanted to book with you today?
Yeah, for sure. So I have all the social media platforms pretty much. Instagram is Trapani, Trapani Productions MYC. That's on Instagram. Also, my website is Trapani, Trapani Productions.com. And then also my Facebook is Trapani Productions MYC.
Okay. So, the biggest thing that I always kind of like talking to photographers because they always have the different feel of different types of backgrounds and stuff like that. So like for you, what type of photography are you in? Are you into like product photography, like personal, family, like that type of photography? I believe it's like boudoir is the other type of photography. What type of photography can we call you?
Honestly, it's a revolving door of so I'll just kind of give like a little bit of background on myself because it's kind of complex, that answer, as simple as many people might think it might be. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I'm a portrait photographer, I'm a real estate photographer. It's a little different for me, and I'm sure a lot of people would agree, other photographers. I started off just taking photos of everything, as a hobby, and whether that be landscape, portrait photography, you name it, just basically anywhere with the camera, I would go. Having said that, I enjoy everything. I portrait photography, I'm consistently doing, whether that be family portraits, maternity shoots, headshots, corporate outings, things of that nature. But also, I'm a big landscape photographer guy. I enter a lot of my pieces into local exhibits, whether it be at the Mayapack Library, or just a local restaurant, that has like exhibits there, or the Putnam County Arts Council here in Mayapack. I put a lot of my pieces in there. So, I also like to sell my work, and my art. I'll frame it, the whole bit, and it's up for purchase. I like everything. I'm everywhere and anywhere. It's like I said. So I honestly just can't pinpoint it. What I do to provide a business, I wish it would be more of exhibits and selling my pieces, but it's not so much that. I guess that's more of a hobby still. But more of it is my family portraits. Maternity shoots. I also had the privilege of working on a couple independent films out in Jersey, which was a lot of fun. I was hired for that, being on set in a movie set, for a couple of weeks, and being the on-set photographer I was for that movie. I was credited for that. And I say that humbly because I was very proud of it. It was like, photography has led me into a lot of different places, fun avenues, I was lucky enough also to have a couple of my photos published in a international portrait magazine. Well,
look at this. I got a celebrity right now. Look at
this.
No.
Far from it. But like I said, it's I love it. I honestly do. I love it. I love being behind the camera. I don't like being in front of the camera. I hate it. But behind it, I love it. If I can get paid along the way, awesome. But it's a passion of mine, and that's foremost. What I mean? But like anything, sometimes, most of the time, turns into a business. But you know what? If I could do what I love and make some money along the way, I don't know. I think that's happiness right there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of taking a look at your Facebook right now, so that way I can kind of speak to some of the work that you do. So based on some of the things that I see a lot of portrait, a lot of different event type of photography, and also the landscaping like you were talking about, a lot of cool stuff, especially that jack-o'-lantern. If you guys check out his site, you could check out that as well. It gives that spooky feel whenever photography gives you that feeling, right? Like when somebody takes it, the artist like you kind of gets that feeling, right?
Yeah.
And is able to portray that feeling in their art. And then you at home, like when you're looking at the photo or you're buying this artwork and you feel that emotion, it definitely speaks volumes to your photography and your specialty.
Thank you.
So going back into kind of like what brought you into there. I know that you were starting to kind of give me the short, skinny version, but kind of going into like how you started. So was that something that you've always wanted to do, or is this kind of something that just fell into your lap?
Yeah. So, no, I'd be lying if I said that photography was something I always wanted to do. It's not like years ago when I was a kid, I was fantasizing about a camera all the time. It was very, it was not that at all. You know, probably about 8 years ago, I'd say, I really started like digging deep into it, you know, really with the lenses and different cameras and exposure and all like the nerdy, you know, stuff about it, you know, not just snapping a photo and, you know, and all that. Really learning about post editing, you know, and like through Lightroom and, you know, Photoshop kind of, you know, I really don't dabble with that much, but Lightroom is something I do. So no, but for the past, like I said, 8 years, it's increasingly I've gotten more into it. And like I guess I would say probably 7 years ago, I was taking photos, you know, of friends, family, you know, doing parties for them, portraits, maternity shoots, modeling shoots, headshots. And then I kind of was just like, hey, you know, I really love this. I enjoy it. Maybe I should start charging for it, you know? And that's, you know, 8 years later, you know, it's kind of morphed into something completely different when I even imagine what it would be, you know, you know, and it's great. And it's, especially doing something like this with you know what I mean? Just to be able to effective, you know, reach more people, you know, because that's something I think I personally struggle with, you know, is the networking and branching myself out, you know, it's, you know, sure, I do my posting on the local groups of my community, you know, you know, I'll try to spread my website out as much as possible. You know what I mean? But on that end of things, I definitely need to work on improving myself, you know?
Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, listen, when you're doing the business, it's very hard for you to network the business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, the biggest thing is I offer these interviews just to kind of help and stuff like that, but also to kind of get to know people because, of course, you know, you have these pictures on Facebook and they're just pictures.
Exactly.
But when you actually get to meet the people, even virtually, there's more of a feel to it. You get to feel the person's personality, you know, how they do business, how they hold themselves and stuff like that. So that's definitely something, as you can see, I hold myself in high regards.
You and me both. You and me both. I went with the double shirt today. Yeah. You know, I really want to impress everyone, you know, watching this. Listen, I'm like, I want to give my guy that money, you know, to take photos of me.
So that way you can dress up in a suit. There you go. No, but I mean, I'm more of kind of like, I want to make sure that people relax. They understand who you are, what you kind of, what your basic fundamentals are and stuff like that.
Sure.
Now, for photography, what is your weapon of choice, if you will? What are you, a Nikon person, Canon, Sony? You know, what are we looking at?
Yeah, so I shoot with a Canon R6. It's the new mirrorless technology. That's it's fairly new. I love it. It's awesome. I was shooting DSLR before that. It was which was great too, but just this is like, in my eyes, everyone's different, you know. Everyone, you know, they all have their own weapon of choice, but I really enjoy the Canon mirrorless R6 I'm using now. It's just looking through the viewfinder. It's just, I don't know. I just click with it and it just works for me. You know, I can't imagine using anything else anytime soon.
Yeah. I mean, I'm an Nikon guy. I'm just
nice.
You know, from my days in photography, that's what I used to run. But
I didn't know that. I didn't know you did photography. That's cool.
Not professionally at all. I used to be the family photographer, similar to what you used to do.
I'm still the family photographer, dude.
But I kind of dabbled in graphic design more than I did that the photography part. But you know, I held Nikon in my high regard for a while until I gave it all up. It's just been so hard for me to like really to stay up with it. The technology changes so much.
Yes, it really does.
You know, and I'm looking at some of your artwork and looking at some of the photos now. You know, what's your easiest subject, right? And I know you're going to probably say like landscaping is the easiest because nobody's there to critique, right? But you know, in your travels of all the different photography that you've done, what have you seen as the easiest for you when learning photography? Is it landscaping? Is it portraits, telling people, you know, to pose in certain ways? What's your easiest tip for somebody out there that may want to be inspired?
Yeah. I'd hate to say what you said, but you know, it kind of is the truth, you know. It is landscape, and I say that because it is where I learned like my roots of photography. You know, it started off with me just a camera, just literally going for walks, and I still do that now. I just did that in that crazy rainstorm we just had a week ago. I was like a maniac. I put on these big boots, and it was like nighttime, and I walked down to the lake, and it was pouring out. It was windy. It was crazy, but you know, it was fun. You know, and you could take your time, you know, you could take your time, you know, starting off, especially. I mean, you kind of learn to, like, if you're doing like an hour shoot, pay shoot with, you know, with subjects, you know, whether that be couples, you know, singles, whatever it might be, you know, you don't have that time, you know, you go into it, you know, it's like, all right, you have a plan, but things change on the fly, you know, and you have to be able to act accordingly to the new ever changing plans, you know, that happen. So that's why I do say, I mean, I hate to say, but it's the truth, you know, it's landscape, you know, just going for walks, even just walking around my home. I used to just like flowers, just depth of field, playing with the f-stop, playing with the exposure, you know, and just taking your time, really taking your time, you know, and they're not moving, like you said, you know, it's not a moving subject, you know. Sometimes I do a lot of kids shoots, you know, and they come out great. But you know, I'm not gonna lie, it could be difficult at times, you know. You're dealing with,
And parents don't understand that either sometimes, that kids can be a little rambunctious and they don't want to stay put. They don't want to stay put for you. So what makes you think a stranger is going to be able to get them, you know, I'll throw a toy at them. Here.
Yeah. And I surprise myself, and I have no shame, you know what I mean? Like when I do a shoot, you know, sometimes, and it's like I'm doing like you know, mom and dad, and they have like a 2-year-old. You know, I do that a lot, you know, it's a big part of my business. And after the shoot's over, I'm like, wow. It's like I'll look at my work after. I'm like, I'm grateful I got like what I needed, you know, because sometimes, you know, you're human, you know, you doubt yourself sometimes. It's like, man, you know, you're dealing with a 4-year-old, a 2-year-old, you know. I have kids as well. I have a 3-year-old and an 8-year-old. I get it, you know what I mean? Maybe that's what makes me a little bit more patient sometimes. I don't know, but you know, I surprise myself sometimes, like, and I'm grateful for it because it's like, wow, that's tough sometimes, you know. I think if anyone tells you it isn't, I think they're, you know, I think they're kind of lying. It could be tough, you know, for real. So yeah, landscape, macro photography, you know, just your camera and the world, you know what I mean? It's honestly, and just go out and shoot, shoot. Just keep taking photos. Just keep taking photos. You know, it's the best bit of advice I can give. You know, I do it constantly. I don't go anywhere without my camera. You know, it's not just paid work I do. It's you know, it's more than a hobby at this point.
It's a
you know, it's a
passion.
lifestyle.
Yeah, I get it.
It is. It is.
You know, the when it comes to photography, you know, being that I kind of like know a little bit about it, like very small amount, because it's been a while. I lost track of it a while ago. You know, I know I see that a lot of models that you've taken pictures of, a lot of scenery. You know, is there one place that you could say that you've been in your travels that was like, wow, this was the greatest backdrop I've ever had?
Yeah, there's actually it's in upstate New York, in the Roscoe, New York area. I feel like, I don't know if you ever seen the movie Goodfellas. You probably have, but I feel like
it's been a while, but yes,
I feel like the mom that like pulls out a photo in that scene. But
yeah.
But anyways, no, I just happen to have this sitting here, but I might as well show it, as corny and cheesy as it is. But it's actually here. I have a couple of my pieces, but
I know Zoom is not going to do it justice.
Yeah, but I'll explain it. So it's just like this desolate road in the middle of nowhere, in the mountains of the Catskill Mountains, and it was snowing, and it was literally, it was cold, it was freezing, and it was beautiful. It was just trees everywhere, and just this road that just kept just traveling and swirling and going. And I don't know, it's something. I don't print a lot of my stuff. I'm pretty hard on myself with a lot of my work, you know. But that one holds a special place, that location. You know, I would love to actually take photos of a subject there, you know, a model there or something like that, you know. But yeah, that road has a special place for me. It's just this road in the middle of nowhere in Roscoe, New York.
Don't worry, he's a photographer. He wants to take your picture right there on that road.
Yeah,
But,
exactly.
but you know, I mean, a lot of the artwork that you've done, they really grasp a lot of different perspectives, a lot of, you know, vanishing points, and being able to give you that depth of field, as you said. You know, I see a couple of different photos of New York City. But there's also, is that Banner? That's not Bannerman Island. That's a different place. It's like a castle that you have on there.
That's Central. That was in Central Park.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That thing is all in Central Park. I mean, I can see the building behind it, but
It is. It is. It is. I have no idea what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea what it's used for or what it is. But I literally went for like I said, I go for walks and I'll just go to go take photos. And I stumbled across that, and you know, just took some photos of it. And that photo's actually really creepy. If you zoom in on it, you actually see someone standing like in a window, like staring at me from so far away. Yeah.
So if you guys check out his page, it's on Facebook, Trapani Productions, right? Did I say that right?
Yes, that's correct.
All right. It's about, in his photo gallery, I'd probably say about 3/4 of the way down, you'll definitely see that castle. If you point it out, just make sure you guys comment on his post saying, I see that person.
Yeah, it's kind of creepy.
But you know, now I see a lot of Halloween pictures too. Is like, what's your favorite season? Because I see a lot of different things, but I definitely see more of a horror theme in some cases, like, or like a Halloweeny fall. Is that
for sure
like your best season, or?
For sure. Yeah, I'm fall and Halloween is like my first true love. I love it so much. I wish it could be fall all year round. It's incredible. From Halloween with the horror and all that stuff, I'm a big fan. But just to the season, the colors, from an artistic, you know, standpoint, I don't know. I feel like you don't have to do much with it. The oranges and the yellows and just the overall look of it. I mean, I just feel like you could just snap a photo and it just looks awesome. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, the one that you posted on October 16th, that jack-o'-lantern, that really sticks out to me. I gotta say, like, if you guys check out this comment, it was on October the 16th, 2023. He puts a jack-o'-lantern. I mean, you'll see it right as soon as you pick it, but it gives you that contrast between the backdrop and the foreground.
Sure.
It really makes your photo pop. So I really gotta say, like, you know, there's some things that to be said about the photographers of the Hudson Valley and being able to have that talent and that eye for the picture, right? So, you know, like, looking at this, what was your thought process through that photo? Like, is the jack-o'-lantern sitting there? One, is that your jack-o'-lantern, or is this just some random jack-o'-lantern?
Yes, it's like jack-o'-lantern I carry around with me in my car. No, that was actually in my my backyard, that photo.
Okay.
Yeah,
then, then a beautiful backyard you have, sir.
Thank you. And but yeah, it has I had a jack-o'-lantern back there. We had it, you know, all decorations set up and whatnot, and I had like that stone wall back there, and I just kind of set it up on there, and I don't know, just the mood struck, and I must have took like 15 to like 100 photos of that jack-o'-lantern before it, you know.
But at least it shows how much you're a perfectionist, right? So, like, you know, taking the amount of photos that you do, even the ones that are in your backyard, it really shows that you are true to your art, and you really want to make it. You really want to get the chance to make that moment, that photo, right?
For sure. And I do, and I hope sometimes I don't annoy my clients, but like I take a lot of photos, like a lot, and I kind of like let them know at the beginning, like, it's like my silly little like bumper sticker, but it's like the first 20 photos I take, I look at them as like sketches, you know. Like the lighting might be off, you know, focus might be off, things like that. So I try to like let them, like, that's exactly what I tell them. It's like, I look at them, the first shots as sketches, you know, before I get, you know, my final, you know, print, what I need, you know. And sometimes I'm lucky enough to get, you know, the first couple photos, I nail it, you know. But, you know, I take a lot of photos, but, you know, I think that's beneficial for the client, you know what I mean? Like, I like to give them a ton of options, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they can have them, you know. Like, I put this little package together and off they go, and, you know, it's up to you. With, you know, whatever you want to print, you want to put them on Facebook, whatever you'd like, you know. So I like to provide as much as possible.
That's cool, man. I mean, I really like your work. Like, I gotta say, like, some of them like really make you pop, and like, I'm saying the subject really pops and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, you know your stuff, and that's kind of like what's important for people to see. is the work that you do, you know, and to see that you know what you're talking about, you know what I'm saying? And being able to get those shots. And the fact that you take multiple shots and give a reservoir, if you will, of photos to kind of help people make a choice. Because sometimes, you know, they may make like my wife is always notorious for this. Like anytime she's like this, she's like, oh, I got a double chin. You can't take that picture. You got to take it from up here and, you know, in an angle. And I'm like, you're beautiful no matter which way I take you, but she doesn't want to hear that anyway. But babe,
it was a good answer though.
If you hear it, you're always beautiful. But for you, I know that you've taken pictures of models and different events and stuff like that. Now, is this something that somebody has to book with you, or is this in your travels of you going to these different events and then you just happen to run into somebody and be like, do you mind if I just take your photo?
Yeah, a little bit of both.
Okay.
My service is always there, you know, for my portrait shoots, you know, whether that be a model, you know, family portraits, whatever it might be, you know. But a lot of it is also just me walking around, you know, or in the situation, whether I'm at a concert or walking in Central Park, you know what I mean? Yeah, I do. I embarrass my wife a lot, but I'll walk up to people and be like, hey, can get a couple photos, you know. And some people are really chill. They're like, yeah, for sure, let's do it, you know. And then I'll get their number and I'll send them to them, you know, and whatnot. But yeah, for sure, it's definitely services and my passion. Like sometimes, like I think a couple of weeks ago, I even put out to one of the local groups. Like I was just feeling something. I wanted to do something creative. You know what I mean? Something I haven't done, I should say. And I'll just throw it out there. Be like, hey, any models and you know in the area want to collaborate. You know, so no money exchange. You know, going on. It's just for the reason of art. You know.
Yeah, no, I get it. I mean,
the purpose of art, I should say.
I have to ask though, being that I'm a sci-fi nerd, do you do cosplay sessions? Because I got some people that follow me that do cosplay.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when I did that movie, that's kind of cosplay, you know what I mean? Like, and luckily for me, it was a horror movie I got to do.
Was it the clowns one? Was it the clowns one? Because I see
it
clowns.
wasn't. Oh, is there clowns there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was. I think that was on set. I think there was clown heads or something.
Something. I don't know. It's pretty spooky the way you photographed it. It's scary.
Yeah, it was a vampire movie. I'll plug them because their movie hasn't even come out yet. It's actually running through festivals right now. It's Blood of Lust, right? Oh my gosh, I hope so. Yeah, but it was a lot of fun. A lot of people in costumes, makeup, vampires, fangs, blood. I mean, I was like, it was fun. And like, I liked it because it's like playing pretend, like when you're a kid. You know what I mean? It's like playing with your toys, with your friends, and just your imagination going and running. You know what I mean? You know, I would be on set, and then everyone would start coming in costume. You know, who's all black, the hair, the contacts, and like the sun's going down. I'm like, oh my god, let's run outside, let's get some shot. You know, a lot of fun. So to answer your question, the long-winded form, yes, for sure, absolutely.
All right. So the last thing I wanted to ask you was, if and when somebody books with you, it's going to be off of your website. Do they call you? How exactly would they book you?
Yeah. If they find me on my website, my contact information is there. I have an email set up that goes directly to my work email, James at TrapaniProductions.com. And you'll find I guess you would call it link or icon there for email sent right over to me. My phone number is on the website. If you find me on Instagram, you can message me on there. If you find me on Facebook, you can message me on there. I talk with a lot of people through Facebook Messenger a lot. It seems to be my biggest traffic coming through there.
Okay.
Yeah, but all forms, whether it's Messenger, texting, email, you can send the smoke signal out. You know, you could do that. You know.
All right, awesome. I mean, James, it's been a pleasure talking to you. I mean, Likewise. This has been like a great convo that I definitely want to continue in the future.
Sure.
You know, I want to be able to give people different flavors of different businesses in the Hudson Valley. This is definitely something that, one, I've never met you. So as you know, if people wanted to know, they're meeting you for the first time. A lot of my followers might be, I don't know. I got 12,000 people that are like looking at me, but maybe they don't know you and now they do. So, which is great. This is the purpose of this whole thing. And I want to be able to give people the capability of networking with you so that at least they have your channels. And we're doing these videos every week. I'm actually popping out like 4 different interviews a week, which would land me on Wednesdays and give me a little bit of surplus. So that gives me a buffer. But that being said, if you guys check out Wednesdays at 12 p.m., most of these videos will be launching at that time, and you're premiering on YouTube, Facebook. We'll do previews on Instagram and TikTok, and give these business owners a way to kind of channel some and drum up some business, if you will, or networking collaboration capabilities, so that way this business owner can proliferate and exist in other forms, right? And you never know where you're going to end up in the future. And the big thing I wanted to say, thank you very much for allowing me to interview you.
Thank you.
And everybody that's watching, the best way that you could kind of help this interview process, or just this business owner or all the business owners, is just make sure you hit the follow on their pages, but also hit the share button on these videos. By proliferating these videos, it helps more and more people find these small business owners and give them a voice, if you will, that sometimes is very hard for us as business owners to do. Especially when it's like $1,000 a month to just do like simple radio commercials or something like that. This gives them a freer or a cheaper outlet in order to get their advertisement, their personality, their passion out there. So that being said, everybody, I wanted to thank you, James, for allowing me to interview again. Check out Mr. 845 videos on Ramon Pinero's page, which is me, or the social media and events page, Mr. 845. Either one of those will have any of these content. We want to make sure that a lot of business owners are seen, and you never know, you might meet your next favorite. So that being said, everybody, this is Mr. 845. We're hitting the streets, and check you guys on the flip side.
Peace.